everybody, and welcome to We Are No Alamo, the mental health podcast. Tonight, we are on the University of Texas on the UT campus in Austin, interviewing people about their stories with mental health. Thank you for joining us tonight, and go ahead and rate, review, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, or visit our website, wearenoalamo.com, to check out where else you can find us. Thanks for checking in tonight, and let's get to the interviews. Hello, and we have our first interviewee. With me tonight is an anonymous person who would like to discuss some mental health with us tonight. So thank you for being on this podcast. What are you doing here tonight on the campus?
Right now, I'm about to go to my final. It's happening really soon. Kind of studying for it.
What final is it?
CS 314.
That's awesome. My mom's a computer science major, so good luck on your final. So when you hear mental health or mental illness, as we like to call it, MI, it's kind of neutralize the language about mental illness. When you hear that, what is your first thought that comes to mind?
Probably the APA. Nothing.
You mean ADA or APA?
APA, like the American Psychological Association, I believe.
What do you know about that? Can you tell us a little bit about that resource?
I mean, I've just read a few articles, nothing much. I haven't read like the official guide, but just like every once in a while I'll see an article pop up.
So if you had any advice for someone who is struggling with mental health, what would you say to them if they came to you?
When you say struggling with mental health, that's fairly vague. I'd like to know a bit more about it.
So as for myself, I was diagnosed with depression when I was 18 years old. And every day I struggle with it, but I am also on medication, so I have my baseline. Do you have any friends who have ever come to you and told them or asked you, like, I don't know what to do, I'm depressed or anxious, or have discussed that with you?
Not in a serious tone. I mean, you hear jokes about it, but so I've never actually known it.
Right. That's interesting. I've never heard, like, joking about it. Can you give an example?
I mean, it's kind of hard to think of.
Just like on TV and stuff, right? Like, they joke about mental hospitals and everything.
TV, so it's more of just if there's like an inside joke among people I hang out with, maybe it'll pop.
So on the WANA pod, we also kind of make light of the situation, people we talk to, and sometimes when you're struggling, it's really good to have a little laugh. So I'm not judging that. And lastly, how do you think that we, as a society and maybe with social justice, could decrease stigma surrounding mental health?
I feel like this escalated quickly, nothing else.
The 3-minute interview.
I don't really... If I were to be honest, I don't pay attention that much to the social justice movement, and just because I have other things to deal with, like my personal life. So... I mean, if you were to ask me something big, like how society should decrease the stigma,
I know, when you think about it, honestly, here at We Are No Alamo, the mental health podcast, it's about opening up the conversation. And I really want to thank you for being honest and open today, even though I did ask some hard questions. So thank you and good luck on your final, okay? Any last words?
Hope you do well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hello, everybody. We are with Florence, our second interviewee of the night. Thank you for being on here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm actually a public health major at CNS, so first year here, so very happy. The finals season's over.
Well, congratulations. No more finals for you?
I am done, leaving tomorrow.
Congratulations. Awesome. Okay, so tonight we are opening up the conversation about mental health. When you hear people suffering with depression or anxiety or mental illness, we like to call it MI to neutralize the language. What is your first thought?
I would believe it because being here, I kind of see it every day, not just with just random people, but also the people in my classes. So I kind of believe it, and if someone would come to me saying that they might have MI, if I'm correctly speaking for it, I would believe it.
Have you struggled with any mental health issues yourself?
Coming to college, maybe being a little bit more anxious about my classes and everything, but not beforehand.
Well, that's awesome. If you had any advice for your friends, if they had come to you and say, hey man, Lawrence, I'm struggling with depression or anxiety, how would you help them? What would you say?
I would say point them to the mental health center at the SSB and kind of like guide them there. I'm not really a professional, but I'm like there to listen for them and make sure that they have some type of support behind them,
So at A&M, we did have the counseling center. Would you please give us a little bit more information about that resource so that people will have this on the podcast?
I'm not very, educated on the resource.
That's a judgment. You're fine. You're on the spot.
But I heard so many people have used it, so it's doing a great job for our students on campus. So I would definitely recommend it.
And any last words for us before we sign off?
Hook 'em.
Hook 'em. Thank you so much, Florence. Have a good night. Okay. Thank you. Our third interviewee for the night is
Celeste Ramirez, yes.
Ramirez. Thank you so much for being on the pod with us tonight. So, same question. When you hear mental health or MI, what is your first thought?
I think my first thought is fear, because it's a real scary subject, but definitely also real and common. So I guess I would use those. Fear, real, and common.
So, you say it's common for you. Has it become more common lately? What does that mean to you?
I think by common, I meant being indulged in a little area of kids my age. I see how it is common as everyone kind of knows what it feels like and has been through it in some way. And I think personally, starting college, it definitely hit me harder than in high school too. So I guess common as in maybe this first semester is what made it common.
That's really extraordinary to hear. So you understand the stigma associated with people struggling with depression or bipolar and everything. How would you suggest we decrease that stigma?
I think the best way to decrease it is, which I already know normalizing it is something that everyone's trying to do, but in a different way. I think the best way to do it is to not necessarily normalize it, but become okay with it. These people need to understand that it's natural and it's okay to be depressed or sick or whatever type of illness you're dealing with. And it's best to not run away from it and face it like head on and try to do something about it. Be comfortable with it, accept it, I guess. Accept and get what.
That's amazing that you said that, because I always say in the morning I wake up and sometimes I'm depressed and I face that monster and I say, no, not today. I'm going to live my life and I'm going to accept myself so people continue to accept me. This was wonderful interviewing you. Beautiful smile. Congratulations on finals and everything. And you can find yourself on YouTube and everything, so go check it out on Friday, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too. Thank you. Hi, welcome to this interview with We Are No Alamo. Thank you for interviewing with us tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Rahul. I'm an 18-year-old. I'm a freshman business major here at UT Austin, and I'm from New Jersey.
All right, got a New Jersey there. Donnie's from Brooklyn. What's that? So when you hear mental health struggles or MI, what do you think? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
The first thing that comes to mind would definitely be depression. I think that's something that's getting more and more prevalent these days, and sometimes a lot of people stray away from answering those. You see that in all walks of life, whether you're a student or whether you're an adult, or even in celebrities are seeing that often. I've seen stories about even basketball players in the NBA having problems with depression, and sometimes they don't like to say that to fans and to people in the public, but it's definitely something really important to speak openly about and seek help as soon as possible with that.
Right. Thank you for talking about the social media and people who are in the spotlight and are now openly talking about their mental health. I can't remember that basketball player's name. I want to say Kevin Hart, but I know that's the comedian. Kevin Love. Okay, great. So do you have any friends who've experienced anything with MI or anything like that?
I haven't really had specific experiences with my friends having problems with that, but I know campuses, especially colleges, are really doing a good job of preventing that from happening. Just recently, the UT Austin on like Instagram, they have these stories, and like their most recent one was about like breathing in and out. So it's they're really trying to make students like take a breath, and finals time is definitely one of the worst times for anxiety to develop, because it is really an important time for all students. And you see PCL people pulling all-nighters and stuff like that. So while I haven't really had like specific experiences like that, I've seen like steps taken to help students with that.
That's great. And you brought up a good point. The breathing exercise that you're talking about, it's actually called a TIP skill. And TIP stands for temperature, intense exercise, and progressive muscle relaxation. And basically it's to calm your mind. And I've been in therapy for a long time. We call it skills before pills. So before you have to take an anti-anxiety pill, you start those TIP skills to kind of bring yourself back to a baseline. So was there anything else you would like to add?
Nothing much. Just really like, especially for all students going through finals, just to take a break and not to put too much pressure on yourself, because like one test isn't really gonna make or break your whole life. So sometimes it's more important to like fix your health rather than like pulling all-nighters and stuff like that. So that's the thing.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for interviewing with us tonight. Good luck with everything, okay? Thank you. Hi, thank you for interviewing with us tonight. Go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit for us.
Hi, my name is Juan. I'm a junior at UT Austin.
Cool. And do you mind telling us how old you are?
I'm 21 years old.
One? Great. So we're here to talk about mental health and mental health struggles and mental illness. We're calling it MI to neutralize the language. Whenever you hear that, what is your first thought?
Just a lot of struggles that a lot of people will face, like anxiety, depression, even to the extent of like suicide.
Do you have any experiences with friends or family who's gone through those struggles?
Yeah, I do have some close family members that actually have been diagnosed with depression. And then I myself kind of do have some struggles within mental health since starting college, because, anxiety, stress, all the above.
That has definitely been a common theme that we've heard students talk about, especially during finals. You just got to take care of yourself. If you're experiencing anxiety, go ahead and reach out to a friend. Thank you for opening up about your own depression. I was diagnosed when I was 18, and it's really nice to start this podcast and listen to people actually open up about it. So what advice would you give to somebody if they came to you and say, hey, like I'm dealing with this and I don't know what to do?
I think the first bit of advice I would say is that myself, I'm a safe resource. So anything that you would need to get off your chest, go ahead and say it, because as a good friend, you just want to be always open-minded, open ears. As far as if this person were a student here at UT, I'm a mentor in several positions on this campus, and I know exactly what resources to bring them to, such as our counseling and mental health center. And if it has to go beyond that, I know some outside resources that I can refer them to, and just explain that all these experiences that they're going to share have to be confidential within myself, within professionals, and that help is always available whenever they need it.
Can you give a little bit of information about those resources? Because this podcast is also about offering up that information to people who need it.
Okay, cool. So in case you didn't know, but in the past years, the Counseling and Mental Health Center at UT used to cost $10 per visit, but starting, I think it was this semester or the semester before, those fees are waived. So you can go to the Counseling and Mental Health Center, you'll do a brief phone screening, and then they'll book you an appointment, you go in there, you talk to a counselor. Immediately, absolutely immediately. And if they feel the need to refer you to an outside resource, they're gonna look for someone that works with your insurance plan, or someone who probably doesn't have insurance plans. Although, even if you're struggling with issues that have to do with alcoholism or drug addiction, there's on-campus resources, little intervention groups, as well as community intervention groups that they can refer you to. And then as a bystander, as a friend if you're having something concerned, actually just look at the back of your ID, of your UT student ID. It says BCAL, Behavior Concerns Advice Line. That's the number you call, and it's an anonymous tip just saying, hey, my friend said something kind of suicidal and kind of crazy. So
it's on the back of your UT ID card.
It's right on the back of UT ID card. Every single person has that number.
That's great. So you have that resource, everybody. Thank you so much for interviewing with us tonight. Good luck with everything you're doing, and thanks for opening up.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Hi, thank you for interviewing with We Are No Alamo. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am a freshman here at UT. I'm from Cyprus, and I'm a math major here.
Cool. So thank you. And first question for you is, whenever you hear mental health or mental illness, we call it MI, What is the first thought that comes to your mind?
Probably like depression and like anxiety, stuff like that.
Have you, because tonight we've heard a lot of students talking about during finals especially, you really experience a lot of anxiety. Have you heard about your friends or family or anybody else dealing with anxiety?
I think that it's safe to say that a lot of people are really stressed out right now because these grades kind of determine like your final grade in the class, but nonetheless, like, I think it's okay. But yeah, there are definitely some people that are stressed out.
Have you heard anything in the news lately about mental health and how people are opening up and trying to decrease stigma surrounding it?
I actually have not because I've been so busy studying.
That's okay. So, number one, I want to thank you. And if you had any advice to give somebody if they came to you say, hey, I'm feeling anxiety or depression, can you help me out? What would you say to them?
I would tell them that they could always talk to me and like about whatever they're feeling and to just take it easy, I guess, because these grades are, at the end of the day, they're not the end of the world, and to just try your best and hope for the best.
Keep on rolling. Social justice. Oh, yeah. Okay, so do you think that people are taking mental health more seriously lately?
I would like to hope so, but I definitely know some people that would just be like, oh, you're just sad. But yeah, I definitely think that it has gotten better for the people. Like, some people are getting the help that they need.
Well, that's a really good outlook, don't you think? Anything else before we go?
I think we're good.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good night, okay? All right, thank you for interviewing with Me or No Alamo tonight. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
My name is Virgil. I'm currently a student here. I'm in the pharmacy program, and I'm a first-year pharmacy student.
A P1. My sister was in pharmacy school here. Good luck. She works in Houston now, though, at Walgreens, so keep up the good fight. You'll be just fine. Just stick with it. So what do you know about mental health in society today?
Well, I do know that there is stigma associated with it, so it keeps a lot of people from disclosing any mental health issues that they may be struggling with. And I know that there's a lot of programs on campus or organizations that bring attention to this fact, and yeah.
Do you have any names of those resources?
I know there's one organization called BHPO, it's a Black Health Professions Organization. They do some things with mental health. In my pharmacy program, there's an organization called SPRN, which is Student Pharmacy Recovery Network, and they also do things with mental health issues. And then there's other organizations. One organization that I was a part of in an undergrad called Emoja. I think we partnered with BHPO also to do some mental health awareness things as well. So
it's really good to hear about people also stepping up to decrease stigma. And it's really nice to hear about all these organizations that you've been a part of. So thank you for doing that. Also in the pharmacy program, have you learned anything yet about antidepressants or anything like that? And what do you think about people who might medicinally need antidepressants?
So I haven't really studied in depth about
it's a weird question, I know, but it's like
about antidepressants. It's just my first year. I am aware of some of them just because I work in the pharmacy currently. In terms of people who need the medications, I think to a degree they are beneficial. Now there are, if we're going into specifics, there are side effects and things like that associated with them. So that's one maybe con to taking them.
Why you really need to talk to your medical professional, because that's not what we're here to do. But I know that medication has helped me with my depression, and some people, they want to do therapies or psychoanalysis, things like that, to help with their depression. So it doesn't always have to be about medication, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if someone came to you and said, hey, I'm struggling with depression or suicidal ideation, what advice would you give them?
I would encourage them to seek out I guess maybe networks or organizations that kind of create a space to talk about these things, and let them know that it's not like an anomaly.
You're not alone.
Yeah, and so just get in a space to where they can talk about it. Maybe do some exercises or weekly regimens or exercises that can
Mindfulness exercises.
that can like uplift them a little bit, and just kind of let them know about the resources that I'm aware of that can help them out with that, and things of that nature.
Great. Well, thank you so much for interviewing with us tonight, and good luck with everything, okay? Thank you.